Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're studying fractions. So I show you how to add and subtract. Let's go ahead and practice how to multiply and divide fractions. So let's say that you have 3/2 divided by 1/5. Well, anytime you have division, what you're gonna keep the same format for the first fraction, but the second one you're gonna flip it. So instead of being 1/5, you're gonna write down 5/1 or 5, basically, the reciprocal. And then from there, what you're going to do, you're just going to multiply. So 3 times 5 is equals to 15. 2 times 1 is equals to 2. Beautiful. Now, let's say that you have 15/2 and you want to make this fraction into a mixed number. Very important. So look, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to keep the same denominator, which is 2, and then ask yourself, how many times do I multiply 2 to get 15? Well, 7 times 2 is 14. So then I say, oh, bingo, 7 times 2 is 14. That means that I need how much to get to 15? 1. That's how you do it. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. You can also write this down as 7.5. Beautiful. Let's do another example. So let's say that you have the following fraction, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to make it into a mixed number. So let's say that we have -5/10 divided by 2/7. Well, remember, you have a negative here. I'm going to keep the same fraction the way it is, and then I'm going to flip this fraction times 7/2. Then I'm going to multiply. -5 times 7 is going to give me -35. And then 10 times 2 is equals to 20. Now, I can just keep this fraction and then simplify, or I also, before multiply, I could have figured out that I can actually simplify my fraction. So I can say, well, instead of writing -5/10, I'm going to write this as -1 and dividing both terms by 5, or -5, -1/2 times 7/2. Notice you're going to get the same answer. This is going to be equals to -7, and this is going to be -7/4. If you simplify -35 and 20, and you divide both by 5, you're going to get -7 divided by 4. So you can either simplify before, which is actually the best way of doing it, or you can simplify it at the end. Let's do another example. So the beauty of fractions is, and yes, there's a beauty when you deal with fractions, is that things are going to get much easier for you when you're dealing with fractions than when you're dealing with decimals. So let's say that you have something like this, and you're going to see, once you know how to manipulate fractions, you're going to be like, why I didn't use fractions and why I hated them so much. Well, today let's start loving those fractions. Let's say that you have 2/7, and then this is divided by 1/3. Again, what do? 2/7 times 3/1. 2 times 3 is equals to 6. 7 times 1 is equals to 7. 6/7. Let's say now that you have a decimal instead of a fraction. So let's say that you have 0.03 divided by 2. Well, you don't have a calculator and you're like, oh, what do I do? Well, look how easy. First, let's make this guy into a fraction. Now, I see that I have 0.03. I can do 3 divided by 100. I'm going to make another video where we're going to, explore how to do decimals into fractions and, back and forward. But look how easy this is going to be. I just want to show you why dealing with fractions and manipulating them can help you with the time when you have a test. So then I have 2. Well, 2 is the same as 2/1. So what I'm going to do is just flip it. Look at the beauty. And then I can do 3 times 1, which is 3. 100 times 2 is equals to 200. Let me give you another example. Let's say that we have 0.01 divided by 1/2. Again, let's add another 0 right here, just for extra practice. So look, this guy, I can write it as 1/1000. The reason why I do 1,000 is because 1, 2, 3. Before I had 100 because it was 1, 2. That's how you write down, any decimal when you have it like 0.001 and so on. Division, I'm going to do times, and then I'm going to flip this guy. And then before I do the multiplication, I realize that I have 1,002, and I say But wait a second, let me go ahead and just simplify. This is going to be 1, this is going to be 500, and now I can say this is 1 over 500. How easy was that? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be making more tutorials. Please subscribe. You can watch this video on YouTube too. Thank you so much. Have a math day.